Hey, what is going on, guys? Colleen here with my first video on this channel. This channel is called Colleen's Screen because I'm Colleen and I'm going to talk to you guys about what's going on my screen. It's pretty straightforward. Every video I'm pretty much going to react, review, or just comment on things that are going on in the entertainment world around me. It could be TV shows, games, apps, internet drama, whatever you guys want. In fact, down below in the comments, suggest what you think I should post next. But today, what I'm going to do is something that I've wanted to do for a very long time. I'm going to react and review to a Girl Meets World episode. This episode that just came out is called Girl Meets She Don't Like Me. So let's get right into it, shall we? So this episode starts with Riley and Maya at the top of the staircase in their school. And Riley is super excited to meet all of these new people around her. She's in a new place going into high school, and she just can't wait to make more friends. I'm 16, almost 17, so I can really identify with what Riley's going through here, but probably not to the extent that she is. Riley is borderline obsessive about everyone liking her and being friends with every person that exists. Maya, on the other hand, is much more laid back because Riley puts her through enough as is. She doesn't need more friends. But Riley is determined. So she walks up to this girl and tries to become friends with her. But for the first time ever, this girl doesn't like Riley. How could you not like Riley? Well, whoever this chick is, she doesn't. And that is just too much for Riley. She just breaks down into Maya's arms. And Maya, being the great friend that she is, tries to comfort her, but Riley isn't having it. She's convinced that she needs to be in control of every single aspect of every part of her life, which is a pretty naive thing to think for a freshman in high school, but I can overlook that for how good this episode was. So while Maya is comforting Riley, Lucas, Farkle, Zay, and Smackle come upstairs, and Lucas, he picks up Riley and puts her on his back and carries her to class like the good boyfriend he is. Oh my gosh, I'm sick of this Ruckus already. I mean, this is the first time they've even acted remotely like a couple since Ski Lodge, but it just disturbed me. But it was redeemed by the comedy that followed. Zay then picked up Maya after the confusion that was Girl Meets Bear. Are they together? I don't think so. Disclaimer, I'm Lucaya Ryarkle all the way, but I'm not entirely against viewing the other ships. But anyway, Farkle and Smackle just stand there looking at each other like, well, what are we gonna do? So Farkle tries to jump on Smackle, but she obviously couldn't lift him, so she ends up dragging him to health class behind Lucas and Zay. So the six of them arrive at health class, where the topic is our bodies, our friends. And judging from the health teacher's demeanor, Riley is very scared. She doesn't want this new and scary topic to be taught to her in an insensitive way. And she asks him if he will teach it very delicately. But it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. So he teaches it, by the book. When Riley gets home, she's describing everything she learned in school that day, and the camera cuts to Augie with the most horrified face I've ever seen. Augie is very funny in this episode. They use his character very well. Riley is still complaining that not everything is under her control. And Corey insists that she needs to just let it go, because you can't control everything in life. And just as he says this, the person known for getting her way all of the time and controlling everything walks through the door. You guessed it, Topanga. When Riley fills Topanga in on what happened at school, that a girl somehow doesn't like her, Topanga says that everything will be okay, and Riley just needs to let it go. Because if that girl doesn't come to her senses, Topanga's gonna do some investigating and make sure that this girl likes Riley. I really loved seeing Topanga being all threatening. It really brought me back to her old Boy Meets World character, because I feel like on this show she's just cooking or talking to Augie in a B storyline, but in this episode she's really used in a much better way where she's involved in the main storyline. When Topanga leaves with Maya, Corey promises to Riley that he will get everything figured out. And Corey ends up being the class's health teacher. And Riley was not excited about that. But I think Corey was actually the most nervous about it. He didn't want to talk about this, but Maya was cracking up. She raises her hand to ask Mr. Matthews a question to see what he knows. This part just cracked me up. Maya and Corey going back and forth just never ceases to entertain me. Corey at this point gets freaked out and Smackle volunteers to take over. Now this is something that I noticed that I'm not sure if it's a parallel, but I think it could be. So Smackle raises her hand and asks for Smackle time to explain the lesson to the class, since Corey obviously is struggling with it. And Zay asks, well, wait, I thought it was Farkle time. And Farkle answers, it is Farkle time, it's always been Farkle time. But when Smackle blows him a kiss, he says, it's Smackle time now. So this is just a funny moment where Smackle is teaching instead of Farkle, but I noticed that what Farkle said, it's Farkle time, it's always been Farkle time, is the same exact way Lucas said, it's Riley, it's always been Riley, when he was choosing between Riley and Maya in the jelly bean scale scene in Girl Meets Triangle. And that's making me think that it's always been Farkle time, but now it's not, it's Smackle time. It's always been Riley, but now it's not gonna be. It's gonna be Maya. That could just be me reading into it, my Lucaya hopes getting up, but if it does happen, then I'm calling that as foreshadowing. But anyway, Smackle has a very funny moment. She gets up in front of the class and starts explaining everything that's on the infamous page 73 of the health book, and how the human body works. The Disney Channel bleeped out this entire section for comedy purposes, but it was just so great to see the characters' reactions to this. Everyone was so horrified, but Maya was just laughing, Lucas was smirking, but Farkle and Zay had the most shocked looks on their faces. Riley was covering her ears, yet Maya was just taking notes and smiling like it was the best day ever. I thought this scene was done very well. After school, Riley and Maya come home to talk to Augie and Topanga about their day. And Riley, earlier on in her obsession with controlling everything, said that she was going to take over Augie's homework because that was something that she could control, because he was younger than her, she's the older sister, she can do what she wants. If she can't control who likes her or who teaches her, then she'll control Augie. But Augie's essay, What Life Means to Me, was actually what life meant to Riley, and he got an F on his project because the teacher thought that it was obviously the work of someone older, such as a 5th grader. That was a really funny backhanded compliment. The comedy in this episode was just so good. But it switched here from being comedic to actually teaching the lesson of the episode. Topanga offers Riley some words of wisdom that even though her entire life she's tried to control everything, Topanga realized that some things are just out of your control and you have to learn to be okay with that. But she wants to teach Riley now, so that way it's not something that she struggles with as much as Topanga has her entire life. Something that I just noticed in the duration of this next scene, Maya and Lucas seem to always be right up next to each other. I mean, just look at how close they're sitting and then all the space between Lucas and Riley. Yet, you're telling me that Lucas and Riley are supposed to be the couple? Okay, then why don't they act like it? Lucas says that whenever someone doesn't like him, he just smiles and then everybody likes him, which Smackle agrees with, but this bothers Farkle because Smackle is always flirting with Lucas right in front of him, and I understand that she doesn't really realize that she's doing all of this, but Farkle just deserves so much better than Smackle. Farkle just needs to be with Riley, but this isn't a ship video, this is a review video, but I'm just noticing all of this Smackle, Lucas, Farkle tension building up, and Farkle really needs to speak up more about this. I hope he does soon. But anyway, Riley's still upset that this girl doesn't like her, and she's freaking out that she can't control everything. So Smackle says that there's a billion trillion stars in the universe to give them something else to talk about. And the way Lucas and Maya react to this, it's just so great. I mean, just look at their faces. If you don't think they're meant to be together, I'm sorry. But unfortunately, this does not help Riley at all. This just makes her feel even more alone. And it's not until she goes home and hears everything that Augie is thankful for in his life that she realizes that she's overreacting. It took the common sense of a 7-year-old to bring Riley back down to earth. He said that everything is easy for him because he's young and he doesn't have any control over anything, so he doesn't get stressed out about all of these pointless things. He just enjoys his life and is thankful for everything that happens to him every day. And that's a really great message. Riley really takes this to heart and realizes the error of her ways. The next day at school, Corey's trying to teach the class about the body still, but he's getting nowhere, and the original health teacher comes back to his aid and says that even though you might not have control over everything in your life, what you do have control over is your own body and your own mind, and what you do for yourself is really the only thing that matters, because everything else that happens all around you is insignificant if you are not taking care of yourself. So to really symbolize her new understanding, the new mature Riley that gets that you're not in control of everything that happens to you, Riley gathers her friends up to have a letting go ceremony where they all release balloons into the air to let go of all of their problems and realize that what's important is their friendship with each other and being there for each other. Now that everything is back to normal and Riley is on track to understanding that she can't control everything, the Matthews family gathers around the TV for their usual nightly programming of Mr. Googly, and Maya comes over to watch TV with them, and everything's going well until the news announces that a family in their area has been convicted of some tax fraud because their daughter did not like someone at school. And this is just such a funny moment, everyone glaring at Topanga like, girl, what did you do? You just spent this whole episode talking about how you can't control everything, and yet you go through and try to control everything. But all in all, I thought this episode delivered a really great message and was one of the funniest episodes of the season. Because usually with Girl Meets World, they either go deep into topics, well, as deep as they can on Disney Channel, or go deep into the ship wars and romance, or it's just like a filler comedy episode with like a basic lesson. But I feel like Girl Meets She Don't Like Me really discussed an important issue that you can't control everything, because myself, I'm a perfectionist. I always feel like I have to control everything in my life, otherwise it's the worst thing ever. But really, I can just relax, everything's gonna be okay. You don't need to get all stressed out about every little thing that happens. But then also, this episode was hilarious. So I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was really great, and the episodes of this show have just been getting better and better, and I'm really looking forward to see what's to come. I'd really like to continue to review Girl Meets World episodes along with other TV shows and movies, games, apps, online entertainment, basically whatever. So if you guys could suggest some things for me to review down in the comments below, I would really appreciate that. If you have any questions or comments for me to improve, what you liked, what you didn't like, leave them down there below. Leave a like if you did enjoy, and subscribe for more. Peace out, guys.